My name is Brad Laddusaw, president of the California Mortgage Association. We're here in Newport Beach, California for the fall conference. The goal over the next year, we really want to be highlighting some of our members, the vendors, service providers that allow us to function in our businesses to operate behind the scenes. So today I have Marcus Carter here with Mesa Fund Control. Marcus, you mind introducing yourself, your company, your specialty, the value you bring to the table, and kind of have a little fun with it.
You bet, Brad. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Marcus Carter with Mesa Fund Control and Escrow. We are a licensed and bonded escrow company specializing in risk management for construction lenders. And we've been around since 2007 is when we started the business. And really our goal is really to provide products that allow construction lenders to mitigate risk. And we do that with fund control and disbursement services and inspection services, as well as providing some pre-construction review products for construction projects that lenders are analyzing and trying to determine whether or not they're going to move forward with. And we help them with that analysis on the front end. And we provide a pre-construction review to help them do that.
So like a feasibility report. You're going to break down that bid, see the reasonableness on cost per line item and the likelihood or the, I know you're not going to probably break down probabilities, but higher chances of it actually being done at that cost. Is that kind of what it is?
We're trying to catch major issues prior to funding, before they become major issues when you're in construction. And so it's breaking down that budget. It's analyzing the project. It's analyzing each one of the line items in that budget, and analyzing that cost to complete, that cost of construction on an individual line item basis, and also in the overall project itself, and identifying problems that potentially could become major pitfalls down the road. And even looking so deep as looking at the plans, looking at the permits, looking at the construction documents and the scope of work. So we're going to analyze that for that construction lender to help them, again, mitigate that risk.
So I mean, I'm sure things have changed quite a bit since 2007. We're gonna touch on that in a little bit. But over the last 12 to 18 months, what's the most consistent issue or problem that you've seen come through from lenders that you've helped catch on the front end? And what's some of the stuff that you've had to kind of help guide through post-closing? So I think it's two-pronged there. And they almost got you into the game too late.
Budgets. Analyze your budgets. Look at your budgets. I mean, coming out of COVID was an anomaly, and 30 to 40% of the projects out there had major cost overruns. They had construction timeframes that were vastly extended beyond what lenders ever anticipated. So those were some of the biggest issues. But consistently with our business, Brad, analyzing, having a good budget up front and knowing that you've got good amount of contingency in that budget, and analyzing each one of those line items to make sure that you're going to have enough money in that project to get to the finish line. That's crucial. It's absolutely crucial.
So I'm going to press you on a good budget a little bit.
Yeah.
What is a good budget to you and your team?
Yeah.
And what's a shitty budget? Let's call it spade a spade.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with a crappy budget. It's one in which there's just not nearly enough detail. It's lumped. You have $1 million construction project and it's 8 line items. That's just not enough detail. And what happens is when you don't have that detail in the budget, when you get into construction, even if that budget is sufficient, even if the $1 million is sufficient to build that house or that, whatever the project is, even if it's sufficient, if there's not enough detail, what it does is it causes problems in the inspections on those draws. So that you get into construction and you get into the first or second or third draw down the road, and you're doing those site inspections and the contractor's asking for money. Well, if there's not enough detail in that line item budget, it's very difficult to discern.
Is it up to interpretation?
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of questioning, well, where is this money coming from? What's he pulling this money for if you can't identify those individual line items on that inspection that he's drawing the money out for? So it makes the inspection much more subjective, as opposed to identifying those individual line items and then inspecting those individual line items for completion.
And do you help your clients as part of the onboarding process, any fund control that you're going to be doing and handling the inspections post-closing, do you recommend your clients reach out to you as part of the underwriting process and say, here's a fund control we have coming through?
Yes.
I don't necessarily need a detailed feasibility report,
Right.
but do these line items seem sufficient for that? Is that something that you guys kind of are proactive with? Or how does that work?
We can certainly, we certainly do that now. I mean, just as a quick look at it, if they give us a project that's $1.5 million, and again, there's 8 or 10 line items in it, we're kicking it back to them saying, you need to really analyze this.
We're not going to take this on if it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly do it, but we're warning them very heavily up front. This is going to potentially be a problem for you down the road.
Your client's going to be pissed on release.
Your client's going to be pissed. You might not have enough visibility in that draw process down the road. Go back and ask for a much more detailed line item budget. And by the way, we would recommend you do a PCR report on the front end to make sure that all those line items that he does give you, that contractor gives you, are sufficient to cover each one of those budgetary line items.
PCR report.
Pre-construction review.
Got it.
PCR, pre-construction review. And again, it's just it's an analysis. It's cheap insurance. $650 for a level 1 for a project that's under a couple $1 million. And it's just cheap insurance to have and to know what you're getting into down the road. We have a deeper dive. We have level 2, level 3 for some of the bigger projects, above 5 million, 10, 15, $20 million projects. We can take a much deeper dive into those projects with a deeper PCR. But no matter what your construction budget is, I would highly recommend doing a PCR report on the front end. So.
Your client base, you guys only California, different markets out of California? Where do you focus?
Nationwide.
Nationwide,
yeah. Our services are provided nationwide. We have a really wide range of clients. We do business in the private money space, a lot of private money lenders, a lot of banks, credit unions, finance companies. We have a big project with the state of California dispersing ADU grant funds.
Oh, wow.
City of San Bernardino, City of San Diego. We have some big clients. So
I don't want you to go too much in the weeds on how you even start that conversation with the state, but is that a long runway or what?
Well, it was interesting.
It drill you guys a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting. This particular grant program came through. It was awarded to a nonprofit to run the grant program, these ADU grants, and the grant or the nonprofit that managed this project brought us in as a third-party fund control company to manage that disbursement process for these individual grantees. So
I think it clearly differentiates you guys. It's not Uncle Joe and Aunt Jane handling your fund control and your administration.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of work has gone into building your company over the years, and I think that speaks for itself on the service you bring to the table.
We manage about, to give you some size and scope, we manage about 2,100, 2,200 projects right now nationwide. It's probably close to $7.5 or $8 billion in construction. But as small as $20,000 renovation.
Taking my next question, Mark.
Yes. and as big as, $250 million. So, I mean, the projects are all shapes and sizes. But we really see ourselves as a resource for lenders. We want to be a resource for lenders. We want to provide best practices for lenders and really give them what should be done and how they should conduct their draw process and their underwriting process when it comes to analyzing these projects. So.
And then over the last 12 to 18 months, what are some, I guess, pain points some of your clients have been faced with, or things that could have been missed on that were missed on the front end that could have been spearheaded to prevent? I know we touched on the budget, but is there a consistent issue that you're seeing some of your lenders making that they should be spearheading a little bit?
Yeah, I think that, the market corrects a lot of underwriting and process negligence, I'll say. When you have a market that's continuing to do this, you can make some mistakes.
Everyone looks good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's only until the tide rolls back where you see all of a sudden, okay, here's the holes in the beach and here's what we missed. And we really haven't experienced that yet. So there are lenders out there that are very loose with their disbursement process, with their lack of controls, lack of doing inspections on projects. I know this guy. I trust this guy. We've done 10 projects with this contractor. We don't need to do inspections. And to me, that's just a scary answer.
Only even from title insurance implications, like, holy cow.
Yes. So we try to instill and counsel lenders on utilizing best practices, even if it's a little more difficult, a little more paperwork, it takes another day or two to disperse those funds.
Sorry, you're gonna have to use your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's kind of break it down a little bit.
Cover yourself. Just do it right. And
Say CYA, cover your ass.
cover your ass. Absolutely.
I knew I was gonna pull a first word at you.
But so that's, we're big advocates of that. Do it right the first time and protect yourself and be in the business for the long haul. Because ultimately, it only takes a few bad transactions when the market pulls back to really potentially put you out of business.
Even if it trades flat and you don't have the proper fund control enough, and you take that property back and you have to self-fund an additional $200,000 on that, I'm sure. Yeah, we won't go too much in the weeds on that because we'll probably start drinking too early Thursday.
Totally. It's only 11 o'clock.
I know, 5 o'clock somewhere. California Mortgage Association. When did you first find out about CMA? How long have you been involved? What's been your experience of CMA over the years?
I think we've been coming for 15 years. And CMA is far and away one of the best organizations out there for advocacy, for networking, for best practices. And that's really what we're all about, best practices. So it really aligns with our business philosophy on how we want to do business. And I just enjoy the sharing. There's no airs. People are coming here with a very humble attitude and they want to share information and they genuinely want to help other people, which is sort of different than other conferences. And I will tell you that there's a lot less chest thumping that goes on here at CMA.
You said it.
Yes. and just good people that are in the business for the long haul. So we love the organization, want to be a supporter of it. So I appreciate being here.
And we appreciate your support. And one thing I always say is I didn't join CMA not as long as you, almost 10 years ago to quadruple my business.
Right.
I joined CMA to increase the chances I'll still be in business 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And I think some of the points you touched on right there, but it's professionals such as yourself and the value you bring to the clients and of course CMA members. I mean, you can't trade it.
No, you can't.
So we're doing 180 pivot here.
Okay.
Who is Marcus Carter?
Oh,
what do you do for fun when you're not working, telling clients they don't have enough in their fund control and putting out fires? What
Gosh, married, 5 kids. Wife and I love to play pickleball. We have 3 grandkids, so we're super involved with our kids. We're actually empty nesters. We're 52 years old, empty nester.
I think you're going to say like 37.
No, yeah, I wish, Brad.
I see you on the pickleball court.
You know what I love about pickleball, and I share this with other people. I'm a big sports guy. I love to play sports, but as you get older, there's very few things you can go compete at. And what pickleball has done is it gives you a venue and a sport that you can actually go compete and have fun with. And it's super social too. So love to do that. But live in East County in San Diego and just enjoy life, have a strong faith. We're not promised tomorrow and want to do everything I can today.
Treat every day like it's your last. How old are your grandkids?
4, 3, and 1.
So you get to go visit, get them all riled up, and say, "I'll see you guys tomorrow."
You don't have to say no. You just say yes to everything and send them back home to their mom and dad. So super fun.
And I'm sure your kids appreciate you guys being there, being involved. Sounds like
they do.
Strong family.
They do. Yeah, they do. They're great kids. All doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we're blessed. Super blessed.
So bucket list item can be a trip, an event. Something maybe you haven't even thought of. But I did not give you this question ahead of time.
No.
So if you
unscripted,
if you and your wife could just, hey, we're going to take 1 month off and go do something, what would you do? Would it be a staycation with the kids and grandkids, or would you guys just pack it up and go? And cost is not irrelevant. You can do whatever.
Okay, here's my bucket list trip to take 6 to 8 weeks in a motorhome, follow college game day for college football, and go to the game days during 8 weeks for college football and watch those college football games.
I just got the chills. That'd be
right.
Wouldn't
that be
awesome.
fun? That sounds like a blast to me. See the country, go to a bunch of great college football games, and that sounds like a blast. So
I love it.
One day.
You'll get it there, and maybe you'll bring the grandkids when they're older.
Yeah.
They'll go on it for. right before they go to college.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
Marcus, thank you for your time. Thanks
Good.
for everything you do to CMA and the
Good.
value you bring to our members and our clients. And you've always been a great resource to myself and my company. So I thank you for always being accessible. So,
Well, congrats to you for becoming president, and I'm super excited about what you're doing with CMA. So
thanks. I appreciate it. Nothing different. We're just going to bring a little confidence back to CMA and have some fun doing it. So awesome. Marcus, thank you for your time.
thanks, Brad.
All right, cool.
Yep.